Hey everyone, welcome to Vesting with Values. So today we're looking at Intuitive Machines, and they just won a $116.9 million contract, which is pretty big stuff, and this is going to the moon in 2027 because currently they already have a lot of missions going to the moon. They've got one that's stated for December or January. So that's coming up very soon, and after that they've got another mission for NASA to go back to the moon with another lander. As you can see by this picture, this is the type of machines that they build, and then they have stuff inside which NASA stores in there, and there's also room for commercial clients as well, so that's where these guys are going to expand in the future. But this is pretty big stuff. How come it's big? Because their projected revenue for this financial year is around $210 to $240 million. So to win a contract roughly about half their revenue base is pretty big stuff. On top of their backlog, they have over 200 million in contract that they still haven't even finished. So add 116 million, and that's a lot of work that they can get done. And they will not be sitting idly by, so there's a really good chance that the next financial year their revenues are actually going to be even bigger. So this gives the company a lot of confidence to continue to expand. And what does the share price say? Well, the market hasn't actually opened yet, so we're looking at the after hours, and after hours when this contract came through, it went up 26%. So we don't know how much it's going to go up by, but that's a really good sign, considering the stock price was about $6 since I did my last video, and the share price has just slowly come down to just below $5. You'd kind of expect a bit more, so potentially there's more than 26% gain, because this is big stuff, and this company is hitting a lot of big goals. And this contract isn't even the big contract that they're expecting. So there's the NSNS NASA kind of contract, which is kind of a networking kind of signal type of contract, where they're going for it, and potentially they have a really good chance of getting it. So here, if you read this is NASA's 10th award under the Commercial Lunar Payload Services program. Of these, 4 have gone to Intuitive Machines. So that's pretty, like, you look at the number, 10 awarded kind of missions, and basically 4 of them have gone to Intuitive Machines. So NASA really trusts these guys. So hence why in the future there's a lot more contracts coming from NASA to these guys, because they are delivering. So that's the main thing. As long as they continue to deliver, they're going to continue to get a lot of contracts from NASA. But that, in a way, that also means they're very reliant on NASA, which has a bit of risk in that sense. But if they continue to deliver really well, then not too much risk. So in terms of where we are, so if you want me to go back to the share price, back probably a few weeks ago the stock price was high, and then we've just seen the market kind of trend downwards. A lot of growth type companies have just been coming down, but now we've possibly seen a reverse, because people are seeing that this company is building real revenues, and this is a big contract, and I think they're expecting even more contracts to be coming forward. So there's really no reason to worry why this company will not continue to grow at a good rate. So basically, in terms of this contract, it is to send to the South Pole of the moon. And as it says here, only a single rover has ever briefly explored the region, and that was the Indian Space Research Organization's rover, which they sent in August 2023. So the NASA's very, very interested in making sure they're at the forefront when it comes to space, when it comes to sending things to the moon. And yeah, like they're going to be very, very dependent on these guys, and that's kind of a really, really good sign for this company, especially when they're only worth, we have a market cap here of $303 million, but apparently they're probably closer to 600 million because they have about just over 120 million in issued shares, whereas the Yahoo recorded number must be just based on the class A shares, whereas they also have class C shares. So if we add those shares up, we actually get a closer value of like 600 million. Even then, it's still a very low valuation, and when you compare against Rocket Lab, AST Space Mobile, as we've mentioned previously, so I think this company has quite a bit more room to run, particularly now that they're hitting these bigger contracts, and space is really becoming quite a realistic thing, and the goal of this company is to make the moon, going to the moon, in a way, very casual, like that that it can happen more often and at a really, really reasonable price, and hence why NASA's starting to look at this again and go, if you can do it at a really reasonable price, then we can do more of these missions. And then each time NASA builds wants these missions, they also have space. So as it says here, the company will deliver 6 NASA payloads to the moon as part of the deal, though there is additional payload capacity on the lander for commercial customers. So I think that's where they start bridging out from NASA and then getting more additional customers, and I think this is where they kind of have a lot more room to continue to grow and succeed. Alright, that's all I really have to say about the company today. I think we'll watch the share price and how well it will do. Hopefully it's not just like a slow burner. It goes up 26% and then comes back down a little bit. Hopefully it will, this is just the beginning of the rise, because I think it's a very undervalued stock, in my opinion anyway. Until next time, good luck investing, and if you have any questions or comments, post below.